Good morning from Sailing Nova Vita. It's Monday the 17th of June and we've just left Tobermory. We took a mooring ball for a couple of nights. First night was quiet, second night was a little bouncy. It is always a little bit bouncy in there on a northwesterly, but tied up to a mooring ball, super stuff. We've come out and we have 13 knots of wind. Morning, John!
Hello, hello.
From behind. So we've got main and headsail out. And we're cruising down the Mull at 5 knots, which is nice. Really peaceful, really quiet. You can see the day, little overcast at the moment. Patches of blue sky trying to break the cloud out. And it's not raining at the moment, which is really nice. Some good weather forecast, some good wind, so we're taking the wind when we got it.
We're currently goose winging, wing on wing, schmetterling, call it what you will. Got a sail either side and we're making really good progress. Lovely wind, anywhere between 15 and 18 knots. Fantastic bit of sailing. We're plugging the tide, so we're only doing about 5 over the ground. Got about maybe half a knot of tide against us, 3/4 of a knot of tide against us, but we're still keeping up our average speed, which is perfect. What a fantastic day sailing again.
And we got cups of tea. Whizzing down the Sound of Mull. Loch Allen over there. And Fishnish over there. Both sails up. Bit grim and grey there. And we're wondering if that little squall is coming our way. It's lovely sailing. What do we reckon?
I think it's fantastic. We've got 17 to 22 knots of wind currently, and yeah, we're making good progress. It's been brilliant.
Wind! Fantastic! We had thought about putting our cruising chute up, but when it goes 18 plus, it's a little squirrely for just 2 people on board. So we decided, nah, we'll just go down under whites. We've done goose wing, and now both sides are on a port tack. Both sails are on a port tack. Great fun. And we're doing what speed?
5.5.
5.5. It's lovely. Take that. Just after lunchtime. Just had some lunch, some tortilla, bacon and egg. Lovely. And out the Mull, heading towards Lismore Island. And we've got lots of wind. It's nice. We've got a reef in the main and a reef in the headsail, and John's having fun.
Love it, bit of wind.
Bit of wind. Oh, show you the conditions. There we go. Nice, flat. The squall never hit, but it's still there, so we're running in front of it. Might be giving us the wind. John's having a play. He's really enjoying himself.
24, 25 knots of wind. Lovely.
If you watched the earlier video, when we came up to Mull, we were motoring and we motored past Jura Castle. Today we are going to sail past it. And there it is, just in the distance. We're rapidly making our approach to it. What's our speed?
8.5 over the ground and just under 8 through the water.
Would you like to say that again? Just under what?
We're doing about averaging about 7.5 knots through the water and about 8 over the ground. So we're making progress.
Cracking fun today. Downwind all the way from Tobermory to the end of the Sound of Mull.
We're going to carry on down. The tide should be right for us to go to the Sound of Jura, and we've got all this lovely wind, so we're probably just going to keep going to Gigha. Should be there about 10 o'clock tonight.
Quite a bit of passage traffic up the Sound of Mull today. We've been heading south, and all those heading south have been going downwind, so just have had either their headsail out or their mainsail. Those who are going north, some were under engine, but the majority were having a good old play and a good old tack up the Sound, which was great. But everybody's been having fun today because there's wind. Yee!
And
Oh,
there's sunshine.
oh yeah! John's not even got his coat on or his hat on. I have, but they could soon come off. But yes, we have blue sky. Blue sky, lovely clouds, and finally seeing the big yellow ball of sun. Woohoo! We chose to leave Tobermory and sail down against the tide. We are still against the tide, and just at the entrance to the Sound of Mull, at the Lismore Island end, there are tide rips, they call them. Just see them on the water, just there, the little white waves. Nothing much today. Coming more towards the tide rips now. You can just see it's a little bit swirly. Been through worse, definitely been through worse. But we're getting a good wash off on the bottom hull. Having fun, Skipper?
Yes, I am. I'm over here. Yes, I'm having a lot of fun.
Open in the distance, Gigha Island in the distance, and we are heading in that way. Fantastic sunny day. Still not warm enough for me to take my hat off yet though, has to be said. I'm not feeling so warm today. Even though the sun is out, the wind still has a little bit of a nip. Surprisingly, considering it is middle of June. But hey-ho. Don, however, is nice and warm. He's got his woolly pulley on.
Can't beat it again, see?
Cups of tea at the ready for when they get a bit cooler. And we might even have a chocolate biscuit with it as well.
Lots of seals basking in the sun. Don't blame them.
I've only got 11 knots of wind.
Oh no. I'm sure it will come back. Hope it does.
It will. It's giving us time to see the seals. It's just before 4 o'clock in the afternoon and we are approaching the Sound of Jura. We wanted to be there at 4 o'clock and guess what? Good seamanship, lovely wind, perfect timing.
Yeah, it's gone really well.
By the skipper.
It's been really good. We've had everything from 8 knots of wind to 25. I thought we might have a bit more wind than this coming through here, but we're down to about 10 knots. So, yeah. So I was hoping for maybe about 18 to 20, but be careful what you wish for, because in a minute, here we go.
We're heading around that mark and down there. Not the only boat, there's another boat there doing it, and there's one behind there as well. We're all heading for the entrance around 4 o'clock. Got a bit grey now. I still haven't taken off my hat or my coat. Still feeling a bit chilly even though it's the 17th of June. But hey, oh, nice gannet there. I never feel the cold. Clearly I'm not a bird. Well, that's it for now.
That's it, concentrating, going through.
More later. We're making our way down the Sound of Jura. This is the entrance. Lighthouse just there. That's Fladder Lighthouse. On the other side of the sails, there's a marker, which is
I think it's pronounced do skier.
old Cash with a coffee in a hand. And we're heading off down there. We were just saying it's the smoothest passage we've had under sail. Normally we've had to motor because there hasn't been very much wind, or alternatively we have chosen to go when it's under engine. But today there's 8 to 9 knots of wind. But we will be whizzing along very shortly once we get into the tide. Cause currently, what's it doing?
Well, we're actually doing 5.2 knots, but 3.7 through the water. So we are just we're not
Little early.
no, just time. The tide's with us. Got a knot and a half of tide with us, nearly 2 knots of tide. Ooh, look.
See, there we were, busy discussing what's going on, and nearly didn't see that little one. That's what happens when it's tide and they bury themselves. So, they are very sneaky. So I have got to keep my eyes out on stalks to spot any more. Pot marker watch time. Hey, we're in the tide! Woohoo! And we're off.
We've got 4 knots of tide. We've got 4 knots of tide with us at the moment. We're doing 8.3 over the ground and 4.3 through the water.
Swirly whirlies, lovely, lovely. Both sides. That's the port side. They're going uphill. Starboard side. Whiz, whiz, whiz. Having fun?
I'm having such a good day. I'm having just the best fun today. It's lovely to be able to sail to your destination, and you get, some days you just get the perfect wind going in the perfect direction and the tides work in your favour, and when it's like that, it's the days you live for. It's why we do it, days like today.
Well, doesn't that look moody? That's the Gulf of Corryvreckan. Bit of sun one side and clouds on the other. The cloud, however, is giving us a boost because we are doing 8 knots. Heading off down there. A couple of boats behind. 5 o'clock in the evening, so it's bound to start chilling down. Gonna think about having some tea in a minute on the go, and then it'll be maybe a snack when we get to Gigha, because we'll still be hungry at that point, I expect. 5:45 in the evening, and we're starting to feel a little bit hungry, and it's going to be a couple more hours before we get to Gigha, so I'm going to prepare something for tea. Well, when I say prepare, that's a very loose term. We've got some sweet and sour chicken left over from last night, just the topping. So I'm in the process of cooking some rice. 1 cup of basmati rice and 2 cups of cold water in a pan. Pan handles on, bringing it to the boil. Let it boil for a minute and then turn it off and put a tea towel over it. That allows it to cook nicely in its own water, in its own heat. Makes nice fluffy rice. You don't have to keep the gas on whilst you're sailing along so much, and it's just lovely. So, view from the galley window today. Heading down Jura Sound. John's having a whale of a time. What are we doing?
7 through the water, 9.5 to 10 over the ground.
And what windage?
At the moment, 17 knots of... Where's that coming from? Westerly.
That's a new one.
Yep, more west of it than northwest. Pushing us on. We're flying.
We are. We're definitely on the lean.
7.5 through the water now. 10.5 over the ground.
Having fun.
It's great.
Boiling rice. Let it turn down for just a minute, so it can just do that till the bubbles all go. Super. And then it's about 20 minutes, half hour for that to cook in its own water. Meantime, whilst the rice is cooking, I'm going to do the log at 17:45. Speedy, 9.1 knots. So I chart the speed, the bearing, 190 degrees, and the position. And that goes in pencil along here. 56 decimal, 10 decimal for 1 half. Speed, bearing, current wind speed, and directions, it's westerly 19 to 22 knots. And anything that we like to jot down here, so full sails, or if the engine's on, or what sail pattern we've got. So it's still 1 reef in the main and 1 reef in the headsail. That's the log done. Quick check on how we're doing. The pink line is the Navionics chart, the Navionics way to go. the little red line is what we're doing, and the arrow just at the top there is where the boat is. So we're coming down the Sound of Jura, and the end waypoint is Gigha, just here. So it gives us our ETA at 20 past 8. There's about 22 miles to go. That's at our current speed. If the wind drops or increases, then the time, the ETA gets better or worse. But doesn't matter, we're just enjoying the sailing today. It's really cool. So I'm sat square on the companionway, and you can see everything moving around. My little tapestry on the wall is a good indication as to the amount of lean that the boat's got on. You can see it changes depending on the waves and the wind. Whizzing along. There we go, the rice is under the tea towel cooking on a non-slip mat. Don't leave it on there because obviously this has been hot. When you've cooked your rice, you'll burn your tea towel or set it boat alight. Not a good idea.
We have got an autopilot and we have got a wind vane. However, it's too much fun to use either of those things at the moment. I'm having too much fun. So hand steering and actually sailing the boat is the fun part for me. So that's what I'm doing.
As we charge down the Sound of Jura. Cruising! Have to say, courtesy flag's looking a bit raggedy on the edge. Part 2 of tea. There's our chicken sweet and sour left over from last night. So we've just added a little bit of water to it and it's currently heating through whilst the rice is cooking, and then we shall put it into some bowls and munch. And what we'll do is I will probably have my tea and then take over the helm and have some fun. John can have some tea and then he'll be back on the helm to have more fun. We could put it on auto helm, but I don't think we fancy doing that because we're enjoying our sail too much. Oh, hello! Moving on. 22 knots of wind. Speed 7.5 knots. Although we have lost the tide, I think. Yes, well, I've lost the tide. Never mind. Just past the McCormick Isles. That way, right there. Jura, over there, and right there, right there. Good job we had tea, we need some energy for this. As we would say, things are about to get squirrely. AKA busy on the helm. Because as you can see, it's looking a little bit lumpy bumpy. I'm not quite sure if that's what the skipper would call it. Bit more than we thought it was going to be, but it's okay. It's just not what we had expected, but then that's sailing. Beware what you wish for when you ask for wind. 8:30 in the evening and Gigha is in sight. That's the top of the island. Nearly there. We've started to run out of wind, to be honest. So it's a little frustrating.
Two things. We furled the headsail because we had 30 knots of wind and things were getting a little bit exciting. Shortly after which the wind dropped and I'm a bit loath to put the headsail back out because we have a problem with the furler. It's partially jammed. Something inside it has gone wrong, and so the least amount of times we can furl it and unfurl it before we get back to Largs to repair it, the better. So we're just going to be a little bit slow.
And it's a little bit swelly.
Yes.
So things are a little bit bangy crashy. It's a bit grey. But we just finished cups of tea.
Lovely.
So all is well in the world. So you can see from the chart whereabouts we are. We're just up here, and Ardminish Bay is just down here. That's where the mooring balls are. I think we're going to go for one of those tonight. Currently doing just over 4 knots. And our ETA is about 9:30, so that's about an hour away at this speed. We left at about 10:30 this morning, and we knew it was going to be about a 12 and a half hour passage, so we're doing really well. Wind's now dropped a little bit, and as you heard, we've got this furler problem, so we don't want to put it out. Oh. And always have your radio on. So we have a little bit of a furler problem. We'll sort that out when we get there, if we can. See, well, we'll investigate it anyway, see what the issue is. We don't want to take some sail out and then can't get it back in, and then aren't able to drop it either because it's partially furled. So we're just poddling along at 4.5 knots. And we'll get there when we get there. It's light here till, well, 11, 12 o'clock now. So that's fine. That's fine. Hello from Gigha. It's the next day. We came in last night and picked up a mooring ball and fixed the furler as well. Show you both the two things. So today it is lovely and sunny in Gigha. There's a few boats here. It's quite a transit place because it's a good way up and down the Mull. Oh, hello. So first off, the fixer of the furler. Inside the furler drum there is a piece of metal which had managed somehow to get jammed, so both pieces, instead of being a circle, both pieces were over one side. Easy fix, job done, it works. When you come to the moorings, you pick up the pickup line, which is this small little one with a ball on, and guide yourself towards the mooring ball. There's no chain, there's no line, you have to put your own on. So you have to lean over the front and, like we've done, put our own line on, because you can't just moor to this one. Not a good idea at all. So you come in and you put your own line on, which can be a little bit awkward depending on the height of your boat above the buoy, and usually we've seen everybody with somebody leaning over the front or launching the dinghy and going around and doing it from the dinghy. But thankfully John has got seriously long arms, so he was able to lean over the front, pick it up and put our own line in. So different way of doing it, not easy, but it's doable. The moorings here are £15 a night, but you can also, there is a, just in front of those boats there is a pontoon which you can tie up to, I believe, depending on your depth. I don't know how much it is, but if you have a look at the Isle of Gigha website, all the prices and facilities and everything are all on there. So it's a beautiful day here, sun is out, still some wind as you can see on the water. Great shelter in this northwesterly. Great shelter, and that's it from Gigha.